Hi, Charles SirBookSage here. It is Sunday, November 8th, 2020, and you might hear a bit of wind in the background because there is a tropical storm down in, I guess, probably over Cuba right now. And I'm in South Florida, so we're getting the northern part as it rotates back around. So I'm just off the Atlantic Ocean, so that's what I'm getting here. So you might probably picking up some of it because I've got the windows open. I actually really love the wind. It is one of my favorite things, being down here and being close to the ocean. And the ocean itself has its own power and majesty and beauty. But the one thing I was struck by the most living down here is actually the wind. It's very different from the wind up north. Now, I'm from New York City. I've lived in and around this city my whole life, as well as in western, like central New York and stuff, up in the Finger Lakes region. The wind down here is really, really different, particularly the wind coming in off the Atlantic, because we've got the Gulf wind. Storms like barrel up out of the Gulf, streak right across. They come and go in minutes. But it's the Atlantic Ocean wind, the wind that comes in from the east. It feels like it's alive, and I don't really know how to describe it. So it's one of my favorite things down here, particularly at night, is I'll have the windows open and I'll enjoy the wind itself. There's something magical about it that's just different from wind that I've experienced elsewhere. Probably makes no sense, but so far today, the storm has been on and off. It gets really windy and gusty. I have a little picture up on the wall in the kitchen, in the corner there, in between the corner windows. And that was like flapping off the wall. I'm amazed it stayed up and didn't fall down. Right now it's relatively quiet as far as the storm goes. It's supposed to take a sharp turn west and head back over to out into the Gulf. But I haven't looked in a little while to see where it is. But anyway, this is not what this video is about. I just figured I'd mention it because you're probably the microphone's definitely gonna be picking up some wind. I'm just curious too. I have just tech geek stuff. I'm actually recording the audio separately through my Blue Yeti Pro into Streamlabs OBS, and I added these couple of noise or audio filters settings that I saw in the video, and so I'm testing those out to see. It's supposed to naturally reduce just noise in the background, so this is a good test of it. Windows open in the kitchen, so I want to see how it reduces the outside noise, particularly with the it being a windy, stormy day. When I think about wind, when I lived in the city, one of the strongest memories wind-wise was walking up Fifth Avenue at night in the winter. The wind comes down out of the north over Central Park, and all of the apartment buildings running across from Central Park all up and down Fifth Avenue, they act like this wall, and the wind just comes and whips like right down Fifth Avenue itself, like a wind tunnel. And in November, December, January, that can get, when the wind is strong, that's harsh and sharp and biting. And that's like one of my wind memories from the city, is that winter wind. It's nice in the summer, but in the summer you really didn't get the same kind of strong, fierce winds coming down Fifth Avenue like that. As far as the summer goes, I used to walk down, actually down into Chinatown and down by the Manhattan Bridge. And you get some breeze coming in off the East River. Yeah, but down here it's really very, very different. It's its own form of nature providing entertainment. Again, as long as the storms stay below a certain limit. We've had just storms just blow through here that it felt like a tropical storm or hurricane for about like a minute, and then it's gone. So, but today I've been enjoying. It's just the wind up and down the winds. I'll probably insert a little video here, just a short clip, a couple of seconds, just kind of showing you some of the wind earlier. For the most part though, the point of this video is just kind of a little catch up, a little hello. It's been about a month, I think, since I posted, and that was at the start of my October reading, which is still ongoing. Absolutely, completely, thoroughly enjoying this reading experience of diving deeper into Nnedi Okorafor's catalog. And I realized for a combination of reasons, particularly the crazy schedule at work that I am currently in the middle of. According to my Fitbit, on Friday, I apparently walked 14 and a half miles while working. So, yeah, that was a busy day. And I worked a little bit yesterday as well. I realized that there was no reason to lock myself into a hard set time limit for this reading experience of mine. I'm just going to go with it and go with the flow, and I'm going to take my time and I'm going to enjoy it, which is what I've been doing. I think probably up next for me is going to be the Binti trilogy. I didn't sit down and plan a reading order. I figured I'd just go with my instincts. And that's actually worked out very well so far. One particular example of that is I read Akata Witch, really, really fun, enjoyable book. And then instead of immediately going to Akata Warrior, I decided to read her flash fiction called Hello Moto, which she describes herself as, she describes it as part witchcraft, science fiction, and Nollywood. I didn't get the Nollywood reference. I thought the Nollywood reference was because one of the main characters, there's three women are the main people in this very short flash fiction story. One of them steals a Nollywood DVD from this little shop in its market. So I just assumed that was the Nollywood reference. But when I started reading Akata Warrior, there is a scene where Sunny goes with her friend. He goes and visits his sick aunt. And when they arrive, the aunt's watching a Nollywood film. And Nnedi Okorafor makes a reference to the really bad wigs that the actresses are wearing in the Nollywood movie. I'm guessing that's kind of a thing Nollywood films are known for. And that's when the Nollywood reference in Hello Moto clicked for me. Because it's about these wigs that this one woman made for her and her friends that have this technology and witchcraft intertwined in it, and it's gotten out of control, and a really interesting short flash piece. If I hadn't just spur of the moment read Hello Moto before reading Akata Warrior, the mention of the wigs in the Nollywood movie, I would have just passed right by it. It wouldn't have really meant anything. It would have just been an interesting reference, but something I would have just glossed right over. But because I had just read Hello Moto, it really stood out to me and made Hello Moto click, that reference as to why. So, and if I hadn't, just pure luck or inspiration, decided to read Hello Moto first, in between those two Akata books, that moment would have just really not been anything. So I just, minor little thing, but the serendipity that can take place sometimes when you're reading is really cool. I just thought I'd mention that here. But I think Binti is next, because I read Lagoon, which is, I think, now my favorite Nnedi Okorafor novel. And then I read LaGuardia, the graphic novel, which is set in the same storyline as Lagoon, but just a few years later. And the Binti books are set in that same story construct as Lagoon and LaGuardia as well. It's just farther in the future of this particular story's timeline. Just like the Akata books are tied into the same story world as Book of the Phoenix and Who Fears Death. They're all related to each other. And the Lagoon, LaGuardia, Binti books, they're all related to each other over here. Which is a nice little, neat little thing. I noticed that as soon as I was reading Akata Witch, early on, I was like, this reminds me of Who Fears Death. This sort of vision that Sunny sees, which leads to her discovering that she's part of this world of leopard people, if you will. And right away, instantly, the vision just struck me as Who Fears Death. That reminds me of it. And then I was doing some research online, and then I came across a page where they talk about how these stories are all connected to each other. The Akata series and the Who Fears Death kind of series are all part of the same overall story. Which, for me, having read Who Fears Death, it really adds this sort of whole underlying uneasiness and unsettledness, you know what I mean, to the Akata books, which are meant for a younger audience and are serious as well, but fun adventures as well. So, but yeah, this is kind of just a rambly Sunday afternoon, or actually, it's not even 10 a.m. yet. It feels like it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but I think because I woke up so early, woken up by the storm out there, that it just feels like it's much, much later in the day where it's not even 10 a.m. But I think I'm just going to finish my Irish breakfast tea that I have in my little, my favorite tea mug. I bought a few of these. I do need to scrub it better though. It's a bit stained. Got to break out the baking soda and clean it out better. But I think I am going to finish season 1 of Mandalorian though before I dive back into the Bindi books. Yeah, I've been really enjoying Mandalorian, and I know season 2 just came out, so I really kind of want to watch that. Anyway, it's just going to be hopefully a quiet, relaxing day where I'm going to enjoy the wind and hope that that storm does indeed make its westward turn. Otherwise, if it doesn't, the next few days are going to be really interesting. But I think that's it.